Okay, this is a video for a sealed Crimson Vow, Innistrad Crimson Vow. So those are the rares that I got. Um, just not even. I'm just gonna try to make this as quick as I can. So there's the deck. Ended up playing green white. I think I only played two. I played two of the rares because I was using that artifact, the Investigator's Journal, so that I can draw extra cards. So yeah, I didn't actually spend a lot of time looking at all the colors that I could have played. I'm pretty sure I just picked the best one that I had for my sealed pool. I looked at black, but I didn't have many black cards. I had mostly green and white anyway. I could have played blue. I had a couple of green-blue cards, but I didn't really have any synergy with those cards anyway, because they were about milling cards into your graveyard, and I didn't really have anything to do with cards in the graveyard. I'd probably lose that game. This enchantment seems pretty good. I wasn't really sure how to play around the enchantment. Yeah. So I think I just lose this game because of that, maybe. We'll see. I literally did just play this, but can't even really remember how it went. So yeah, I had to check there. I was pretty sure I wanted to use the wolf strike, but then I needed it to be night to do so, to actually kill their creature. And their creature is a werewolf, so it was going to transform, so I had to check, will it be out of range when it transforms? But luckily not. Yeah, so once this enchantment does transform, I think it actually kind of gets a bit worse. So yeah, I kind of wanted it to transform, I think, so they weren't just boosting their creatures every turn. I made this double block, and I was considering just accepting it. I would get to draw a card anyway, from the 3/2 dying. So it's kind of like a 1-for-1 trade, even though it's a 2-for-1. But I decided just to use the Wolf Strike instead. Don't know if that play was correct, probably wasn't. I was worried that if I lost both of my creatures and I kept the Wolf Strike in hand, I wouldn't have a creature to use with it. So those Stalkers, you can play them at instant speed if you pay an extra 2. I never did that once, even though I had 2 of these in the deck. It was always just better, I think, to play them for 3 mana instead of 5. So yeah, I didn't mind that the enchantment transformed into a creature, but they had a Sure Strike here. So that it wasn't great for me. That trade. I can keep on drawing more cards because I do have that artifact, but they also have one. And yeah, I remember how I lose this game. They might play the card this turn. And I'm glad that I just conceded pretty early here. Yeah, this card, I'm like, yeah, I can't. There's no way I beat that unless I get one of my removal spells. There was 2 of them. 2 white removal spells that could potentially kill it, but if they get a turn where they can just kill all my creatures with that thing, then I just lose. I suppose at the moment they could only activate it twice, but yeah, there's no way. There's no way I win against that card unless I had a removal spell for it, so that was that game. I'm glad that I didn't waste any time, because there's absolutely no way I win that game, so I might as well just concede. I should... let's make a score. There we go. Okay. I suppose I could have paused. No, I mean, I could have tried pausing it and then putting the score up, but anyway, nothing that interesting was happening anyway. I don't know what the opponent had here, but I managed to just get this 6-3 on turn 4 because it changed to nighttime, and they didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, they have 3 different colors, so they must just, the cards in their hand must have been too expensive. I don't know. And then I'm guessing they just drew this now. I was drawing a lot of white cards this game, but luckily I did get the planes eventually. So yeah, it's not the most interesting game, this one. The opponent didn't do a ton. Pretty sure they just concede. Yep. I was getting like a little bit worried that they might have a sweeper, but with the way they were playing, but I doubt it. I think they were just stuck on mana, really. I do like this traveling minister. And I have this kind of combo here where I have the wolf that's the werewolf that's cheaper if I have a wolf. So I made sure I put like every single wolf and werewolf that I had from green into the deck. I do like the pup, but probably not the best in this particular deck. Maybe there was a chance I could have played green-red, but I think I had some decent white cards. I do have this pacifism in my hand right now that can also exile the creature that it's attached to. I do also have a destroy an attacking creature. I was worried about that enchantment this game. I thought maybe I was just going to lose, because when they do trade off their creatures, they just draw a card anyway. But I think, yeah, I ended up just being aggressive here, I think. So just lock down one of their creatures so that I can get some attacks in. Nine damage is a lot. So I think that play was worth it. Didn't the other option was to play the 5 mana creature, but that means I'm not attacking, so that's not it's a lot better to get that 9 damage in. This might be the only game where I actually transform that artifact. I think it's a decent card. I would play it again. So yeah, they're only at 7 life here, so I did take a while to think, can I kill them? But the answer was no, I think. I can force them to block my 5/4. They do get to draw a card anyway, so it's not like a super. It's not a huge amount of value. But yeah, I don't think there was any way I could have just killed them this turn, even though it kind of looks like it. If I did go for an attack with everything, then they get to just kill one of my creatures for free, which isn't good. Or I would be forced to pay 5 mana just to put a counter on my 1/2 vigilance. And I'm sure it was a lot better just to play the 3/4 werewolf then. And yeah, I flipped that 5/5 for 3 artifact that makes you mana. So yeah, I don't think that card is busted. It's just most of the cards in my deck were just fair. But I did play against a few broken cards, that's for sure. This is I definitely had players disconnecting here and there and like just taking a while, having to wait a bit. This is a new set, so I was spending like a little bit of time reading the cards, but I don't. This is kind of different because I didn't really pay a lot of attention to, all the cards in the set. I'm just kind of reading them as I go mostly. I did look through the entire list of Crimson Vow cards once. But yeah, I definitely don't just know them all. I'm pretty sure this was a long game. And yeah. I was never like feeling that confident because I couldn't really attack. And that kind of happened a lot with this deck, just getting stuck in board stalls where I can't really attack, but the opponent's not really attacking either. I think they have a spell to just kill my 5/4 here. Maybe not. I can't really attack with it anyway because they have a decent double block, or they could just block with the Death Toucher that they just played. But yeah, playing that artifact then means that it can draw me 7 cards. It's 1 card per turn, but eventually, hopefully, you'd think that drawing that many extra cards would win me the game. So yeah, there's the destroy with toughness 4 or greater. I think I was running into some artifacts and enchantments that were pretty powerful, and I didn't put any artifact enchantment removal in my deck. I didn't know what to do about this attack. I think I end up just taking the damage because eventually I might be able to give first strike to the 3/1. And I also wanted my wolf so that I can maybe attack with it. Because attacking with the 3/1's really bad. They can just block it with their 1/1 and then get that creature back, their skeleton. I think I end up drawing with my artifact here. I really did just want to draw a land so that I could play the card in my hand. So I'm pretty glad that that happened. Even if I didn't draw a land then, at least I would have a card in my hand that I can discard to the 3/1, although for this entire sealed, I never once used that ability, I don't think. I don't think I ever discard it. You can discard a card to that spirit to make it, to exile it, and then it comes back at the end of the turn. So you can save it from things, but I never once did that, I don't think. Even though I drew it a lot and I played it a lot. That Geist 3/3 flyer seems pretty good. It always kept on stopping me. Because I can attack into it with my flyer, but then I lose my only flying creature and they can just they can just replace their 3/3 with a couple of 1/1 flyers. So I consider making this attack because, but it's just bad, right? Then they have like 4 flying creatures and I have 3 flying creatures and I have 0. But at least they weren't attacking with their 3/3. Because they didn't want me to be able to grow my Griff Rider to 4 toughness. I thought maybe there's no way I'm gonna beat that card. So yeah, even though I'm drawing a lot more cards than them, I still didn't know if I was even gonna win this game. They were only really dealing 1 damage to me each turn though, since I am gaining 1 life every turn, and they're only really dealing 2. But they are also gaining life because they can give their 2/3 flyer lifelink. So I think at this point I had to just keep waiting until I had so many creatures that I could just start attacking with all of them. And then who cares if some of them die? Because I should be getting in enough damage that eventually I'll win. But I didn't really know what to do about their 4/4. Even if I attack with my 4/5, which would make another 2 1/1 creatures, they still have a good double block, I think, with their 4/4 and the skeleton. So I think I just had to keep on waiting. I even kept the card in my hand to keep it nighttime because I didn't want my werewolf to flip back over. Also, having the extra card in my hand means I can discard it to the spirit if I need to. I don't think playing the statue was maybe incorrect here. Because if I didn't do that, I could grow my 2/3. But I think the opponent might have disconnected here, so I'm just going to probably skip to the end of the game. Okay, they didn't actually disconnect yet, but I'm just going to skip to the end of the game anyway, because I think they do eventually disconnect. So yeah, here's the board state. Yeah, I guess they just I was probably going to win anyway, since I was drawing so many cards. But they just time out. I guess I should have, yeah, they just time out. So there we go. That's where I should have put it. And that was that game. So I should update the score. So yeah, I'm not planning to do too many of these videos. I don't think I'll even play any more sealeds. I think I'll just play some drafts, and only really post them if I think it's worth it. I don't think I'll post a draft unless I get 7 wins anyway. And even then, I'll probably only end up posting one of them. Just because I just don't think I have the time. So yeah, it was nice to have a few hands where I could play that guy on turn 4. I do think that's a decent card. I don't think I ever got to flip though. Because yeah, it just got murdered then. I was worried about their mythic rare that they had here. But I was pretty sure I could just be aggressive enough that I could win before they could start using it. I think they might even have just failed to get the second blue mana for some reason. Also, if they were exiling all their most like powerful cards, that's probably ended up good for me anyway. So if they pay 6, they can flip that O2 into an enchantment, and then they can play the cards that they exiled with it for free, but once per turn, I think. I don't know if that counts my turn as well. If they would get a free instant. But anyway, the short story of that is if they do flip it, it's like really bad for me. And I do have a way to exile it, but I might, yeah. It was too risky because, and also I just wanted to kill them like as quickly as I could. So yeah, I could have played the enchantment on their O2 and then on the next turn spend all my mana just to exile it. But there's a chance that they could just play an island and then flip it, and then the enchantment goes away anyway. So that's why that was too risky. Also, I was just expecting them to have the second blue source, given that they were drawing so many cards. I don't know how they managed to, unless they exiled an island from their hand, which would have been a mistake. But yeah, they were playing 3 colors, so that's the risk that you take, I guess. I did make a mistake here. I should have played the spirit pre-combat. Because they could have killed my my legendary creature, and then I wouldn't get the 1/1 training creature. So I'm glad that they didn't make that block, because that would have been pretty bad for me. Although if they did make that block, then they pretty much have no creatures left. And yeah, I might as well spend the 3 mana using this enchantment to stop one of their creatures from being able to block, and I should be able to just win. I even drew the Wolf Strike, which I probably didn't even need, but might as well just use it, I think. And yeah, I got a lot of training in this game. So yeah, training, it seems to not work if you don't really, if the opponent just has good blockers, because then you can't really attack with all your 1/1s, because they will just die anyway, even if they are 2/2s. But in that game, I actually got to use it a bit. So yeah, playing against green-red, which seems like there's green-red humans now. That might just be a thing in this set. Could just be an archetype for Crimson Vow. Because I feel like I've played against it a couple of times. And those are pretty annoying. They're pretty annoying grizzly bears that turn into a 3/2 trample. So 2 mana 3/2 trample, like pretty good. Especially in an aggressive deck. I was kind of worried about this. The 2/6 that they played here, it turns into a 6/6 that has to attack each turn. But I was also thinking, it might not even be bad if it flipped. So yeah, at first I was trying pretty hard to make sure that it didn't flip, making sure I played something every turn. But even if it did, that means they have one less blocker because they have to attack me with that 6/6. So that probably wouldn't be the worst. Like here, I could spend my 5 mana just to put a counter on my creature. But I wanted to, I wanted to play my creature in hand so that I would get the trigger from my legendary creature there, making another 1/1 token. I didn't really have, I wanted to keep on doing training things here, but all my creatures were like too small. And yeah, here I'm thinking it probably isn't the worst if they flip that 2/6. I do have plenty of creatures that I could just chump block with it anyway. Chump block it with. I think the opponent makes a mistake here. They might have thought that they could use that ability of the 3/5 on my turn. So yeah, I spent a little bit of time thinking here, but then I'm like, I can just attack with everything, right? And I should be fine. So yeah, I guess they didn't have a way to deal with it, my board. They shouldn't have attacked with that 3/5, but it had an ability where it could make an insect, I think, and it gets counters based on, it gets +1/+1 counters based on, I think, the number of creatures in your graveyard. But that's a 6 mana ability on their 3/5 creature. So what is this game against? A black, green, red deck. I think I was actually pretty lucky that I could easily play 2 colors. Because in sealed, sometimes you're forced to just play 3. This card's annoying. I read this card and I was like, it's lucky that I have a removal spell in hand, but that card is a problem. I feel like I might even craft that, play it in a Gruul deck, in Constructed. Seems pretty good. It's a 4 mana 2/3, but it has first strike reach, and its ability to just put +1 counters on creatures is pretty insane. So I'm pretty sure if you get that in your sealed, you should play it. Because I think you can definitely just win games with that card, and nothing else probably matters. So yeah, I was going for the double block there. They had a removal spell. I didn't want to block with my 3/1 because I can give it first strike now that there are enough creatures in the graveyard, or cards in my graveyard, because you need to exile 3 cards in your graveyard so that you can give this creature first strike when you pay 1 white. And yes, I actually did it one time. I still never used its other ability though. Potentially if I wanted to prevent 4 damage, I could have used the ability on the previous turn, but there's nothing I wanted to discard. I wanted to eventually play the cards that were in my hand. It was annoying getting stuck on lands here, because, yeah, I almost considered drawing a card with the artifact, but if I don't draw a land, that's really bad, so, because then I'm just doing nothing. I don't know why it had this exclamation mark on the attacks, making it look like I had to attack. That was kind of worrying. It's probably just a bug. So I would have had a good double block in their 4/4, but they gave it Death Touch. And I think this game was kind of even. Probably not the best attack. Yeah, they have a spell to save their 4/4, which isn't the worst. That could have been a lot worse if they had a Sure Strike or something. But I think they might actually have just disconnected here, so I'll just skip to the end. Okay, yeah. So that's how that game ended. I feel like maybe I was just going to win anyway, but it's a bit weird. That seems like a disconnect, not that they were just annoyed. Because if they had another creature then, like, that would have been pretty bad for me. I had a good start in this game, but then, yeah, I guess I did draw a few lands at the start, but I ended up just not really having another creature to train my creature here. Also, they just had a lot of these wolves. If they were just 2/2s, then it wouldn't be a problem, but the fact that they are 3/2 makes a huge difference. I didn't need to attack with everything then. But I didn't really have great blocks, I don't think. So I think they kill my 3/3 here. That's pretty annoying, because that could have trained my my 2/3 creature and untapped it at the same time. So yeah, I suppose if they didn't have that removal spell, then maybe I could win this game. But now it's just now I have to start playing defense, and I just lose, I think. The reason that I didn't play my creature is so that I could boost my 1/2. All they get from flipping their werewolf is that extra 2 power, but I suppose if I had just played my creature, then I could have double blocked it. So yeah, I end up going for this, just 2 trades here, which isn't even that good for me. But they also just have a boost spell anyway, so Yeah, I don't think there's any way I win that game. And then they have another one of those wolves. And they have, yep. Yep, that, it's pretty funny because I was already dead, but it's nice that they had that rare as well. So yeah, the last game here. Whether I win or lose, I think this is the first time I've ever drawn that white removal spell that destroy a creature. It destroys an attacking creature, or if you pay 6, it just destroys any creature. I think I had a good deck for that journal that's in my hand, given that I do play a lot of creatures. So potentially it can draw me a lot of cards. I just had to keep on being aggressive this game though. So I think I actually played well this game. I think I did exactly what I needed to do. I don't know if the opponent should have been blocking as much as they were, but it worked out anyway. Because they did have the creatures in their graveyard. They could have played them as enchantments, but I did have a removal spell anyway, so yeah. So this is the flipped that thing that I never flipped. It draws a card when it dies. I thought I was just going to win having 2 when they had no creatures left, and both of my creatures had 3 power, and they were at 3 life. But they did have 3 creatures in 1 here. But yeah, once I drew this Wolf Strike, I can use it to kill their 4/5, which I wanted to kill anyway. But it also gives me a good attack. And I think they just give up at that point because they would have had to just chomp with both of those insects. And that was the 7th win, I think. Yep, 7 wins, 2 losses with green-white in Crimson Vow Sealed. Anything else I was going to say? Probably not. And, yeah, it only gave me 6 wins. I don't know why. Don't know why I didn't count one of those wins for the daily rewards. But anyway, that's, yeah, pretty happy to get 7 wins from my first Crimson Vow Sealed. So yeah, that's it for this video. So thanks for watching. Bye.